Arguably Britain's top domestic racing category, the British Touring Car Championship has had a long history dating back to 1958, one filled with fantastic drivers and iconic cars. The series is perhaps best known for its Super Touring era, a rule set born in the 1990s that provided manufacturer support, world-class drivers, and an all-time peak in fan interest. Today, the Super Touring era of the BTCC is still looked back at fondly by those who witnessed it. Even after the Super Touring era ended, you still had a very entertaining racing series. I mean, how could you not? Family saloon cars beating and banging around the UK's most iconic tracks, with very close competition, and it was a recipe for success. There's no wonder why, whenever Top Gear staged a race between double-decker buses or whatever it was, they brought in BTCC drivers to bring the entertainment factor. The important draw, on top of the racing action itself, was that the cars on the track were ones you could actually buy. Touring car racing has always had a connection to the fans, because in other disciplines of motorsport, you can't go out and make an F1 car your daily driver. There's no mistaking the fact that the British Touring Car Championship was once pure box office. But is it still that way in 2026? I have done videos in the past on the decline of both DTM and V8 Supercars, and it got me wondering, how has the BTCC evolved over the years? DTM and Supercars are definitely not the same as they used to be, and the current series has their pros and cons. Is the BTCC still the definitive touring car series in the world, and how has it evolved in the last several years? For starters, we need to talk about hybrid technology. In 2022, the series introduced a hybrid energy management system developed by Cosworth onto all the cars. This new system replaced the former Success Ballast program that the organizers had going. And back in those days, the more successful cars and drivers would be hit with a weight punishment in order to balance out the performance and keep the racing close. However, the hybrid system did not really work as intended. It produced long trains of cars unable or perhaps unwilling to overtake, and it made the cars heavier. If you're familiar with IndyCar, the exact same thing has happened since the introduction of their hybrid system. But there was some good news. For 2025, the series dropped the hybrid energy management system and instead raced with sustainable fuels. The extra boost now comes from the turbo rather than an ERS style system, and perhaps more importantly, the cars are now 55 kilograms lighter. This has done wonders for the racing on the track. So who are some of the stars behind the wheel? The 2026 British Touring Car Championship grid is shaping up to be a really strong mix of established champions, consistent frontrunners, and exciting younger talent. While the full entry list is still being finalized, several big names are already confirmed, and they're the drivers most people expect to define the season. At the very top, one of the headline stars is Tom Ingram. As the reigning champion and one of the most complete drivers on the grid, Ingram combines consistency with outright speed, making him the benchmark that everyone else has to chase. Close behind him in terms of stature is Sutton, a now 4-time champion who remains one of the most aggressive and tactically sharp racers in the whole series. Sutton is confirmed to stay with Napa Racing for 2026 and is once again expected to be the title favorite. Another major contender is Dan Camish, who has been consistently in the title fight over the recent seasons. He's known for a more smooth driving style and his ability to rack up points across the season, which is exactly what's needed in the unpredictable format. There's also a strong group of experienced race winners who could easily break into the title conversation. Daniel Rowbottom and Adam Morgan form a competitive pairing at the new Plato Racing team, both bringing multiple wins and years of experience. Meanwhile, Tom Chilton continues as a veteran presence, who can still deliver podiums and wins when things fall his way. Beyond the established names, 2026 also has some intriguing younger or newer drivers to watch. Max Buxton is an emerging talent entering his first full campaign after showing promise early in his career, while Lewis Selby makes his series debut with a top team, which could put him in the spotlight quickly. What really makes the BTCC special is that stars aren't limited to just a handful of drivers. Because of the series' competitive balance, you often get different winners every weekend, and midfield drivers can suddenly become headline names, and they can win races. That means while drivers like Ingram and Sutton might lead the championship fight, the 2026 season will almost certainly produce many different winners along the way. For a major racing series, the BTCC also has great accessible coverage. I mean, they stream all their races on their official YouTube channel. And it's not just the main event, they also stream all the support races too. I'm not sure what countries are geo-blocked from this, but regardless, it's very easy to watch the series. In the UK, you can watch it on ITV with no ads, and in the States, you can follow it on the Racer Network on racer.com. What truly elevates the BTCC, however, is the style of racing it produces. The series is famous for its aggressive wheel-to-wheel battles, where contact is not uncommon, but it rarely crosses into recklessness. There's a real rawness to the racing. You know, the sense that every position matters and must be totally fought for tooth and nail, and that gives every race something compelling. Whether it's a veteran defending against a rising youngster, or a midfield driver finding themselves in the lead desperately trying to hang on, the action remains engaging from start to finish. The championships format, which typically includes multiple races per weekend with partially reversed grids, further amplifies this unpredictability and keeps fans invested throughout. Equally important is the culture surrounding the BTCC. The paddock atmosphere is often described as open and welcoming, with fans able to get closer to teams and drivers than in pretty much any other series. This accessibility is always great for the fans, and I know how much good connection with the fans matters. For me, some of my best memories as a race fan is going to the Rolex 24 at Daytona with a pit pass and meeting pretty much every driver and see every car up close, and having that kind of access in the BTCC also does great benefit for the series. In an era where motorsport can sometimes feel overly polished, the BTCC still retains some sense of authenticity. It doesn't rely on new extravagant locations and street races or cutting-edge technology to captivate its audience. The schedule rarely ever changes, and it still includes whatever hot hatchbacks or saloon cars are still on the market. The series leans into what makes racing inherently exciting, guys battling it out wheel to wheel and not being afraid to make contact. That's why year after year, the series continues to resonate, not just as the top domestic series in Britain, but as a benchmark for how touring car racing should be done. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.